Hello, hello, Alden Alternate here, coming to you with day two of the Global Good News Challenge for February 2023. Wow, have I had a curveball event happen today? The big question I'm putting out to you today is, what do you do when life throws you curveballs? One thing is for sure in this life is that we will be challenged. We will be challenged continually. I find in my life I'm always challenged. And as much as I would love ease and flow in all areas of my life, I believe the challenges come to make us stronger. And today, what happened today? Well, I was on the Sunshine Coast this morning. I was doing a whole lot of work up at my parents' place at Bribie Island, and then went to pick up a friend at the airport, which I did, and was on my way back and thought, I'll get some champagne to enjoy with my friend tonight. Get some champagne. I went to the bottle shop and I bought 3 bottles of champagne, as you do. I was going to get one, and then I thought, I'll get a few more. I might want some more later. And I bought 3 bottles of champagne, put them in the back of the car, and then arrived to the destination. And where I parked was on a slight slope, and these 3 bottles of champagne were in a box in the back of my car. Now, the minute I opened the boot of the car, the whole box of champagne bottles fell out of the car, out of the back of the car, and started rolling. The bottles started rolling down the street. Right? It was dark. I couldn't see much. There weren't really any lights anywhere. It was a frantic rush to grab these bottles before they rolled all the way down the hill. Well, what happened is I caught one of them, and the other one went a bit further past me and then just exploded just before I was able to get to it. And the one that I saved, I put in the back of the car and shut the car boot. And then later, when I went into the car, that one also exploded into the whole car boot. Right now, I had shoes in the back of the car. I had, a few things in the back of the car that I really did not want to have champagne all over. I had my computer, I had my phones, I had my bags. Oh my gosh. And now the whole car smells of champagne, right? 2 bottles exploded. I did save 1 bottle of champagne, and I have had 1 glass of champagne tonight with that 1 bottle, and that was so shook up, actually. It just went everywhere. So I lost half of that bottle as well. And it really, really made me reflect on life today and on curveballs, because, for a while there, I was a little bit peeved off, as you can imagine, and it takes quite a bit for me to get angry about things. However, this really frustrated me today, and I noticed myself getting flustered and getting just really pissed off, basically, and thinking of all the different scenarios of how things could have been different, right? The sliding doors moment. If you've seen the movie Sliding Doors, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Life throws curveballs. And I thought back and I thought, now, if I had only bought 1 bottle of champagne rather than 3 bottles of champagne, this wouldn't have happened. If I put the box in a different part of the car, this wouldn't have happened. If the box wasn't right at the edge of the back of the car, this wouldn't have happened. If I hadn't parked on a slope, this wouldn't have happened, right? There were so many variables that could have altered how things went. And then I looked at this whole scenario and I thought, well, you know what? It could have been a lot worse. Like that exploding champagne bottle right before, it was about a meter or 2 in front of me that just went bang and just went into a million pieces on the road. That could have exploded in my face, for example, right? It could have been a hell of a lot worse. And now I did get a cut on my hand. I got a little cut on my hand. So I was bleeding there for a little bit. However, really, those bits of glass could have landed in my face. Anything could have happened, right? And it was interesting to notice, how angry I got. And then, I was over it. I'd say it took me about an hour to get over this one. It took me about an hour. And then the quicker I could turn that into gratitude and think to myself, well, thank goodness it wasn't worse. Really, I lost 2 bottles of champagne, which is a bit of a bugger. However, you can always get more bottles of champagne. However, if it had exploded and if it had caused some serious damage, then that's something that, would have been a lot more painful and would have cost a lot more in time, energy, health. Obviously, health is our number one priority, really, or it should be ideally for most people, because without your health, nothing else matters, right? So the Global Good News Challenge is about gratitude. It is about coming back to gratitude, that no matter what happens in life, no matter what curveballs we are thrown, and I'm sure with you being a human being, you've been thrown some curveballs in your time, right? And, have you noticed how quickly you get angry, and how long does it take you to get over those curveballs? Sometimes unexpected stuff, freak accidents can happen, right? In fact, really one wrong turn on the highway or on the road can lead to death. It can lead to, permanent disability for some people. One wrong move that can happen in a split second. Just like these 3 bottles of champagne falling out the back of the car in a split second. I was not expecting it. And then to save these bottles going down the hill, and then for one of them to explode in front of me, and I collected all the bits of glass that I could find, and then to have another one explode in the back of the car that was actually a full bottle, that obviously was so much pressure in it from having rolled down the hill that also went off. And I thought, well, that could have also gone off in my face. That could have also injured my body in some way. And thank goodness it didn't. Thank goodness it didn't. And maybe next time I'll think twice about where I put that box of wine. Maybe I'll put it in the back seat next time instead of in the boot, because the boot is quite full, right? So all these little things, really, really made me reflect on gratitude today, and how grateful I am that things were not worse tonight. And this is just 2 bottles of champagne, right? However, a simple little slip up, I guess, a simple little accident even, can lead to death. It can lead to permanent disability. It can lead to friendships ending, right? One little slip up. Have you noticed in your life, what's something in your life maybe where you've had an unexpected curveball come and hit you like that? And it's almost like sometimes it just slams you in the face sometimes with some things that happen. And what are the learnings from that? Because there's always things we can be grateful for in any situation. And the Global Good News Challenge is really about lifting the energy on the planet, that no matter what happens, no matter what crap is going on in the world, or whatever curveballs come your way, that you can turn that back to gratitude. And the quicker you turn it back to gratitude, the quicker you'll have a better experience of life, right? Because none of us really want to be miserable, do we? We've been conditioned to live in drama, haven't we? With the media programming that we've had, with the channeling that we've had through the mainstream media, right? We've had a lot of programming for drama and for action and for all that kind of high adrenaline stuff, right? And I know as a journalist myself for over 20 years that I've certainly had a hell of a lot of adrenaline in my life, and I've had a lot of, I believe, addiction even to drama and adrenaline. And I've noticed that for myself, and it's been really important for me, particularly in the last few years, to actually take time out and take time for yoga, for meditation, for time swimming in the ocean, for time getting out in nature, making time to just chill out sometimes and do nothing, right? Because there's always more you can do in business. Always, particularly if you have your own business, there's always more we can be doing. And it's important, I believe, to fill our own cup up, as they say, so we can help others with the overflow, to really nurture ourselves. So many sliding door moments tonight where I thought, well, if this happened, this wouldn't happen. If this happened, this wouldn't happen. If I did this, it wouldn't happen. Right? And, you go round and round and round. And at the end of the day, the final conclusion I come to is thank goodness that things were not worse, right? They could easily have been worse. It could easily have been that I got quite injured by these bottles exploding today, right? And it's interesting, there was a moment at the bottle shop, I thought, oh, like normally I have, ciders. Ciders kind of my go-to. I have pear ciders or I have apple ciders. And I thought today, no, I don't feel like ciders. I feel like some champagne. And so, if I'd chosen the ciders, which were in cans, this wouldn't have happened, right? So all these things, you think, gosh, if I'd done this, then this would have happened. However, it was as it was, and accepting, okay, so this has happened. And as a friend said to me a while ago, they said, great challenges are not given to small souls. Great challenges are not given to small souls. And I think when we're playing a big game in life, and we're on the court, and we're playing full out, and we're experiencing life to the full, there's going to be times we're going to get some curveballs thrown our way. And the quicker we can turn that into gratitude, the better experience of life we'll have, the better we will feel, the better the people around us will feel, because it all has a ripple effect, right? Now, back to the Good News Challenge. So the format of the Global Good News Challenge is to help lift the energy on the planet. And I do believe that even with all the crap that's happened through this COVID pandemic, as I call it, this scamdemic, this ridiculousness that's been going on the last 3 years, very, very interesting times. While all that has been going on, there's been a lot of awakening going on of humanity as well. There's been a lot of people waking up to the corruption and the lies and the deceit and the smoke and mirrors that we have been fed for years. 1984, George Orwell, it said a lot in that book way back then, right? This has all been in the wings for quite some time. And I'm actually really grateful for COVID, because in many ways it is helping to wake the world up. It's helping have people question what is going on in the world. And one thing that I did when COVID started is, after seeing the mainstream news and thinking to myself, oh, here we go again, right? I saw all the COVID stuff, and I just knew in my gut, I knew there's something not right about this. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I knew, here we go. I thought, here we go again. More fear mongering, more of that. And, suddenly it's interesting. No one seems to have died of the flu the last few years. Isn't that interesting, right? It doesn't seem to be anyone dying of the flu, but a lot of people have died of COVID apparently. And then from the jab, of course, we've had a whole lot of, deaths and a whole lot of serious side effects. My dad got shingles from the jab. Just heard again today, another 21-year-old perfectly healthy guy died suddenly. So, take it at your own risk, right? Do your own research. It's very interesting times at the moment. There is a big awakening of humanity happening right now, massive awakening. And I am so grateful for that, so grateful for that. So even with all the COVID crap that's been going on, there's been a whole lot of really cool stuff going in the background. There's been a lot of community coming together. A lot of common law meetings have been happening. A lot of the community uniting and standing for our sovereign rights, right? There's been some phenomenal stuff happening, and I applaud you. If you are one of those people, I applaud you. I take my hat off to you for standing up and speaking up for what you believe in, because it takes some courage. And a lot of people do not have the courage to speak up. And in fact, a lot more people are awake than you may think are awake that are just not speaking up about it, right? Question everything. And this is exactly why I started the Conscious Community Global Facebook group. And if you go into that group, Conscious Community Global Facebook group, absolutely free to join. Go to the featured section. You will see some mind-blowing documentaries in there that will definitely help wake you up, particularly the Thrive documentaries, Out of Shadows. I recommend you watch both of those. There's 2 Thrive documentaries. The Out of Shadows documentaries are mind-blowing, and there's so many others in there that you will just, once you take the red pill, my friends, there's no turning back. There's no turning back to the blue pill. You will never look at life the same again. And this can be incredibly empowering. You'll go through moments of feeling sad and angry about this. However, at the end of the day, you will feel empowered. You will feel empowered when you have this knowledge, because now you can make informed decisions for yourself, for your family, where you actually are more informed about what you're doing. You're not just going along with what the media says you should do, or what governments and politicians say you should do, right? As most people do, because that's how we've been brought up. We've been brought up to do as you're told, obey authority, trust authority, right? Government. The word government actually means mind control. Look it up. Government. Very interesting. They have been controlling our minds for so long, and now people have said and are saying more and more, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So when COVID started, I saw all this negative news on the TV, and I'm sure you'd agree, there's been a hell of a lot of negative news. In fact, the last few years, we've had 4 times the suicide rates. 4 times the suicide rates during COVID. Not to mention, I've lost a heap of friends as well, unexpectedly. Unexpectedly, I've lost a whole lot of friends in their 50s, 60s, perfectly healthy, just dropped dead just like that. And I'm sure you've seen it in your life too, which has been absolutely tragic. Absolutely tragic. So, let's stand up for the legacy of those people, right? Let's stand up for those people and for our families. And so I had this idea in June 2020 to start the Global Good News Challenge. And the whole idea was, let's get some more good news out there. There's a whole lot of great stuff happening in the world as well, by the way. It's not all doom and gloom. If you watch the mainstream media every day, you will feel depressed. You will feel suicidal. And how do I know? Because I've been there. I've been depressed. I've been suicidal. I've been watching negative news all my life. And my dad was someone who watched not just one channel of negative news every night. It would be 3 channels, different channels, 2 hours of negative news every night. And I remember one night as a kid being so upset by what I saw on the news. I went to my dad in tears. I said, why is the world like this? Why are people so angry and so cruel? And he said, darling, he hugged me and he said, darling, that's just how the world is. And that's how I believed the world was for a long time. And I grew up very angry with the world. I grew up very self-destructive. I did not want to be here for a long time. You know what? I'm so glad I've come through that. So glad. I've lost 4 friends personally to suicide by the age of 45. I was with my girlfriend at 31 when she took her own life. Amazing lady, Cassandra Dalziel. She was a communications manager at the Gold Coast Airport many years ago when I was 31 as well. She took her own life. I remember when I got the news, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that she would do that to herself. She had depression. It was one dark moment that she decided to end it all. And I get it. I get it because I've had depression on and off over the years. I've had these low moments. And it's a very common thing. 1 in 3 people have these low moments. These really dark, low moments. And sometimes you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it feels like that, right? And thank goodness I've come through that and I've come out the other side of that. And thank goodness for all the personal development work that I've done. Thank goodness. Right. Because if I hadn't done the work that I'd done on myself and I hadn't come to a point where I thought, no, I don't want to live like that. I actually do want to live my life fully. I actually do want to make the most of my life. Because one thing's for sure is none of us are getting out alive. None of us are getting out alive. So why not make the most of this precious gift that we have been given, this gift of life? Did you know you've beaten about 1 billion swimmers to get to the finish line just by being born? First race you ever won. I'm so grateful for my life. In fact, I was with my parents this morning at Bribie Island, and they've been together 53 years this year. Dad's 85, Mum's 78, and they're a beautiful couple, extraordinary, the warmest, most beautiful people I could ever imagine, and so grateful for them. So in June 2020, I decided to start the Global Good News Challenge. And I wanted this to be a monthly challenge. I wanted to help inspire more truth and good news in the world. And sometimes through the darkest moments, we see the light, right? In fact, it's on the darkest nights that the stars shine most bright, on the darkest nights. So it's the yin yang of life, right? There's always going to be dark, there's always going to be light. And the more we become aware and become conscious, I believe, of the light and the dark, and the more we can bring things to the light, the more we help wake up ourselves and those around us. So the Global Good News Challenge is all about lifting the energy on the planet. And the format is very simple. Just share your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. You can do a live video on your Facebook profile. You can do it on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube if you like, whatever your preferred social media outlet is. And as long as you hashtag Global Good News Challenge, then we will share the love. We'll share it to the Loving Life group. We'll share it to the Global Good News Challenge Facebook group. We'll share it to the Conscious Community Global Facebook group. It's free marketing for you, and you will feel amazing doing it. No matter how you're feeling, you will feel amazing doing it. Thank you so much for all your comments. I can see your comments coming in here. Now, all the details on the Global Good News Challenge are in the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. Okay, so if you look in there, go to the featured section. It says how to participate in the Global Good News Challenge. We have a 2-day challenge for February. It's the second month, 2-day challenge, 2 consecutive days. This is my second day of the Global Good News Challenge for February. Now, if you miss a day, you go back to day 1 and start again. Okay, now this is to help people get over themselves to get on a live video. You don't have to have makeup on. You don't have to have a polished presentation. You can just hold your phone up and do a live video like that if you'd like to. And I encourage you and I challenge you to feel the difference when you do one of these. You will feel amazing. I guarantee it. There's been times I haven't wanted to do a Global Good News Challenge, and I've forced myself in some ways, like, come on, get this done, this is what you're standing for. And every time I've done it, I felt amazing afterwards. And so here's mine for today, sharing my name, what I do, 3 things I'm grateful for, and my good news. Hi, I'm Aldwyn Alternay, also known as the Media Queen, for those who don't know me, based on the Gold Coast. And what I do is I help people go from the world's best kept secret to being a star. I help people feature in the media and also get mass media exposure, and also help form a lot of strategic partnerships and collaborations and connect people with other amazing people as well. 3 things I'm grateful for today is I'm so grateful for the yin yang of life today. I'm so grateful for all the dark moments and all the light moments, and all of life, all of the intricacies of life. There is so much beauty within and all around us, and it's just a matter of looking at that. And today I was driving through Brisbane, and it was a beautiful sunset as I went over the Story Bridge, if anyone knows that area, and there's an area to the right there where you overlook the river, the Brisbane River, and overlook the city, and it was the most beautiful sunset. And I just took a moment and parked the car and just took a few moments and appreciated the beautiful sunset that was over Brisbane. And that's another thing I'm grateful for, is sunrises and sunsets. And it has been said that, of course, there's a sunrise and sunset every day. It's our choice whether we show up for that, right? It's our choice whether we show up and actually see that and appreciate that beauty. So grateful for that today. I'm grateful for you joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know today. I'd love to hear from you. What are you grateful for today? Let me know in the comments there. Also, where are you joining us from? Whereabouts in the world are you right now? You can see Daryl, good to see you. Daryl Hunt was one of my co-hosts at Tech Webcast. Amazing show. And we had 1 million downloads of that show over 8 years. I co-hosted that for 3 years, and Daryl's based in Victoria. And also we had Brad there, and we also had an amazing guy, Jacob, also from the United States, that was with us. It was an awesome podcast we did. Good to see you, Daryl. Sometimes you just got to have a good laugh about these things. You have a good war story to tell. Yeah, I love that, Daryl. Thank you so much. And Diane's here. Hello, Diane. I'm watching this latest. Okay, Rumble. Yeah, Rumble's an awesome site. Check it out. Okay, special guest. Okay, well, that looks good. Thank you, Diane. We'll have a look at that. I hope you can see all 5 e-news sites. Tonight is the last one. My parents talked about this when I was a child. Now I understand the Nazis lost a battle, continued the war. God bless you. Keep speaking up. The silence in the Lord has been deafening. Wow. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. Yes, there certainly has been a lot of silence in some areas, and there's been other areas that a lot of people have been speaking up as well. And thank goodness, that's another thing I'm grateful for today, is alternative media channels like BitChute, like Rumble, like Brand New Tube, like Telegram, like Signal, all these free speech media platforms. Oh my goodness, such a blessing. And I'm sure anyone who has seen anything by fact checkers, and I've had info and videos censored on YouTube, I've had censored content on Facebook. Thank goodness for free speech media. Thank goodness. And there are a lot of people speaking up on those platforms. So it is really great to see that. And I'm grateful for all the truth speakers and the truth seekers out there. So grateful for you. And whatever you choose to do with your life, it is your choice. However, with information is power, as they say, and with information you can make informed choices for yourself. Do not believe everything you hear in the mainstream media. I've worked as a journalist. I can tell you that there are hidden agendas personally. Firsthand, I can tell you I've seen it play out firsthand from behind the scenes. And do not believe everything you hear in the mainstream media, right? And if you really want to know what's going on in the world, follow the money trail. Follow the money trail. That's what they say in the Thrive documentaries, right? And it all makes sense to me. Daryl says suicide from depression is perhaps the worst because it can grab people who can otherwise live very successful lives. Absolutely. It can definitely take a stronghold and grab people. And I do encourage everyone right now, if you are feeling at all depressed or you're feeling in any way really low at the moment, there's a great interview I did with Tracy Corman, beautiful friend of mine, and it was called How to Overcome Abuse and Depression. And it is on Media Queen TV. You can look it up. And it was very, very powerful because a lot of people who have depression or feel depressed at some point, they feel very alone. And the fact is you're not alone, right? A lot of people go through this, and there's some very simple strategies we shared on how you can bring yourself out of that. And gratitude is a great way to do that. Hey, Brent, good to see you. And Daryl says, John Curtin called it the light on the hill. Yes, the light on the hill. Love that. The light at the end of the tunnel, or the light on the hill. Beautiful, beautiful. So there are a few things I'm grateful for. And my good news today is that I have an event coming up in Coffs Harbour soon with the amazing Angelique Pellegrino. And it is called Open Your Mind to Flourish. You can check it out on my link tree. It's linktr.ee/Aldwin has all my links. And I do encourage you to follow me on Eventbrite too if you're not already. Follow me on Eventbrite so that you get all our event updates. We often have some great events coming up. This year I'm looking to do a lot more collaborations with people. Grateful for the amazing Jo Worthy, who I spent 11 hours with yesterday, a new client of mine. She's extraordinary, and she's putting on the Worthy Women's Summit coming up on the Gold Coast in March. You might want to check that out as well. Amazing lady Jo Worthy, grateful for Jo and all my clients. In fact, Mark Pilgrim I was talking to today from Key2 Group, amazing company as well. They've got this amazing technology that actually helps revitalize your soil. This product that they have that brings all the natural nutrients and the micronutrients back into your soil so that you have amazing produce that grows from your garden or from the farms. If you know any farmers, they need to get onto this stuff. Look up Key2 Group, KEY2 Group, KEY2 Group.com. Extraordinary, amazing. This will change the face of farming and the kind of produce that goes out there. So I have some phenomenal clients. So grateful for all of you, and please stay connected. Hello, Tim. Good to see you from Illinois. Wow, fantastic, Illinois. And I bet you say Illinois different to how I just said Illinois. I do love the American accent, I must say. They always say we have an accent, but we always think others have the accent, right? So good to see you, Tim. And where are the rest of you from? Where are you joining us from? Let us know in the comments. And what are you grateful for today? What's something you're grateful for today? I look forward to seeing your Global Good News Challenge, my beautiful friends. I look forward to seeing your Good News Challenge. I would love to share the love with your Good News Challenge. Let's spread more good news in the world. If you're sick of all this negative news, let's help be the change, as Gandhi says, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change as you wish to see in the world. I'm going to leave you today with a quote from Margaret Mead, one of my favorite quotes. She says, a small group of thoughtful people can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. A small group of thoughtful people can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. And I know that, in fact, you've joined me here today, that you are part of that small group of thoughtful people. And I thank you for that. I'm grateful for that. Grateful for you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you have a beautiful weekend wherever you are in the world. Every day is an absolute blessing. And let's make the most of it, right? Let's make the most of it. I'm going to have a champagne because I've got one bottle that survived. And I can always buy more bottles. Thank goodness. Not that you need alcohol to have a good time. Right? You definitely don't, but it is nice to have a drink every so often. I think, everything in moderation, my friends. Anyway, have a beautiful night. I hope to see you again soon. Look forward to seeing your challenges. Lots of love. See you again soon. Mwah. Bye for now.